You're listening to the Around the Huddle podcast, powered by PAC-Hub. Around the Huddle, college sports beyond the game.
Hello and welcome into a brand new episode of the Around the Huddle podcast, where we talk about all things college sports beyond the game. My name is John Gross. I am your host. As always, thrilled to have you with us to talk about the ever-changing landscape of college athletics. Look, fall sports in full swing. I've been fortunate to be very busy doing football, soccer, volleyball, field hockey. There are so many awesome storylines going on all across the industry. I have to say, we have some great episodes lined up down the road with a notable Division I conference commissioner. We're working on getting some potentially members of Congress on the podcast to discuss the SCORE Act as well. So you certainly don't want to miss those episodes down the road. And if you want to be reminded of when those shows go up and any of our content is posted, please subscribe to our YouTube page, which you can do by just hitting that little subscribe button. If you do that, you get notified when we post new videos. We try to do it once a week. Also, like and comment. By doing that, it helps our engagement, helps us gain more viewers, get some more awesome guests. And if you have a comment, you want to leave a comment, leave a question for us, you want to have us talk about a certain sport, a certain change in college athletics, by commenting, we will certainly address that. Most importantly, a big shout out to our good friends at PAC-Hub. Take a look at the bottom of your screen, pac-hub.com. If you are a student athlete and you enter the NCAA transfer portal, you probably wonder, how can I stand out? How can coaches find me? Well, that's where the PAC-Hub portal comes into play. By entering the PAC-Hub portal, a page is created for you that populates with your stats, your measurables, academic information, all sorts of specifications that allow for coaches to search for you. And then from the coach's perspective, it makes your job a lot easier. Rather than having to parse through the NCAA portal and then parse through that person's stats and find all sorts of info about them, you can simply go to their PAC-Hub page. If they're in the PAC-Hub portal, you can search for, let's say, a right-handed pitcher or a point guard. That missing piece can be found in the PAC-Hub portal. So take a look, pac-hub.com. Again, pac-hub.com. Big shout out to Kevin Hinchy and the PAC-Hub crew and all the great things that they are doing. All right, quick story. I was driving about a week or two ago past MetLife Stadium here in New Jersey, and I thought to myself, gosh, in less than a year, this venue will be the epicenter of sports because it will host the World Cup in 2026. While on that drive, I was on my way to broadcast a college soccer match. So I thought to myself, let's talk college soccer, and let's talk about college soccer's role in the U.S. soccer ecosystem. Obviously, a lot of pressure on the U.S. men's national team to find success in 2026. What role does college soccer play for the U.S. men's national team? What role does it play for the women's team? How has the game evolved? What role does it play in the growth of soccer in this nation? So to talk about that, we have an awesome guest on today. Our guest is Sal Rosamilia, who has a very extensive resume that covers all aspects of soccer. He was a former All-American goalkeeper at Columbia University, a 5-year professional career pre-MLS. He coached for 4 years at the D1 level, coached for 3 years at the pro level, 11 seasons at the high school level, 20 years at the youth level, and he also broadcasts professional games, college matches for over 30 years. And if you look at some of the players that he has mentored over the years, currently 4 former youth players of his are playing professionally in the U.S. and Europe. So without further ado, let's bring on our guest today to talk about college soccer and the current state of things, Sal Rosamilia. Sal, good to see you. Thanks for hopping on today.
Thank you, John. That's just a long-winded way of saying that I'm pretty old at this point.
It's a long-winded way of saying that you are accomplished, my friend. Don't sell yourself short, Sal.
All right. I appreciate how you've put it. Good to see you, John.
Yeah, good to see you too. I wanted to have you on for a bunch of reasons. Obviously, you have such an extensive amount of experience working in multiple roles around the soccer ecosystem in this nation. You also are the father of a recent Division I soccer player who now plays professionally for One Knoxville in USL League One. Your son, Nico, just wrapped up his career at Rutgers. So I want to start here to dive into our discussion on college soccer. You played at Columbia late 80s, early 90s. Your son, Nico, just wrapped up his college career at Rutgers about a year ago. How have you seen college soccer change between your playing days at Columbia and where things stand now?
Wow, that is a long time ago. So there's been a lot of changes. And besides my son, I'm really proud. We had a team in Ironbound, Newark, New Jersey, and we had so many kids that came through that program that played on our Ironbound Fever team that was quite good through the years. That all got college degrees. Every single kid on our roster, I would say 95% of them went on and played college soccer, which is awesome. Doesn't always happen, but 100% of them went to college. And I think playing youth soccer and through the Ironbound Club had a lot to do with that. So proud of all those kids, and they've all just recently graduated and moving on, either on or off the field, but hopefully for wonderfully successful careers, having a lot to do with soccer. Having said that, tons of changes. Right, when I played back in the 80s and 90s, like that was almost the highest level of soccer that we had in this country. So for the handful of players that were able to go to Europe at that time and start to play professionally, 99% of us had to continue our careers beyond high school and the youth level in the college system. And it was where all of the good players played. It's completely different now. And I'm seeing it even more so at the high school level. And my fear is the college soccer landscape is going to end up where the high school soccer landscape is right now, which is also a total turnaround, and not in a positive way, in my opinion, from what it was years ago. The best players aren't going to continue to play soccer at the college level, the way the system is now, the way things are set up now, and the opportunities that are there for the best soccer players to continue to play professionally. I think it's great. There's new leagues coming out. There's more teams coming out at each level, in the USL. MLS is adding clubs. MLS Next Pro is adding clubs. So all of these opportunities for players, for kids that want to become professional soccer players. College soccer was the way to go to get there many years ago, even more recently, forget my time. Even 10 years ago, even 15 years ago, college soccer was a real pathway to go to become a professional. Those years between 17, 18, and 22, where you can develop, a lot of players were able to develop at the college level. I think we're seeing a huge change now. And that's my fear, because we're seeing the ramifications at the high school level, where kids aren't playing high school soccer anymore because they're playing for their MLS Next Academy programs. And even non-MLS teams, they're playing for, their travel programs, and they're foregoing playing high school soccer. And I think eventually that's where college soccer is headed, unfortunately.
Sal, I'm going to give you some numbers to back up what you are saying. If you look at the 1994 U.S. men's national team roster, 16 of the 22 players on that team played college soccer. If you look at the 2022 U.S. men's national team World Cup roster, 8 of the 25 players played college soccer. So that's half as many players on a larger team. Why is that the case? Why are we seeing fewer of the top end guys play college soccer here in the U.S.?
Yeah, and that, I think the trend is just going to continue in that direction. So as time goes by, if nothing changes, right, nothing's going to change unless you change something. So we can see where this is headed. And as I said, at the high school level, high school soccer is a shell of what it used to be. All of the best players are not playing. And this is what's going to happen at the college level. Some are still going to want to get a college degree, and some are still going to go to college and continue their careers and hope that they can develop enough to become professionals one day, if that's what their goal is. But the majority of them are not going to do that. how do we fix it? How do we change it? I guess is maybe the question, or what we've got to figure out. But I'm actually surprised. You said it went from 16 to 8 college players in this most recent World Cup. I'm actually surprised it's that high. I was
Mm.
looking into some of this. I guess Matt Turner is one, Tim
Yep.
Ream, right? Guys that I can remember. I don't know. Did
Zimmerman,
Jordan
Walker
Mar-
Zimmerman. Yep.
well, yeah. Did Jordan Morris make the 22? I know he's had some injuries, so I'm not sure if he was on that
Yeah.
roster. But when you look at, who most recently went through that college pathway before becoming pros, there's not a lot, right? There's just not a lot, and I think there's going to be less and less as time goes by, the way it's presently constructed, because the opportunity is there to become professional immediately, right? Kids are signing contracts in our country now at 15 years old, at 16 years old. We didn't have that chance 30 plus years ago. It was unusual. There was one or two within the last 20 years. It's becoming more and more the norm now. So if your goal is eventually, why do you go to college? To further your career, to figure out what you want to be in life, right? To study something, to become whatever you're going to become. That's why you go to college. And for a while, you can do that in soccer. But now, if you can become a professional after playing in your MLS academy or your USL academy, and you can start your professional career at 18 years old, why would you delay it for 4 years, have less of an opportunity to play at a high level, only to try to come back to it when you're 22 years old?
Right.
So that's what players today are facing, right? Yes, some of them still value an education. Some of them still value a free education. Some of them still understand there's life after soccer, whenever that career may end, and having a college degree is going to be helpful. But for many of them, they're like, why am I going to school for 4 years when I can be a professional now? You go to school to become a professional eventually. Well, I can do that today. Why am I going to go to school other than get an education and get a college degree and use that for the rest of your life? So that's the struggle right now, and it's real.
Totally. And I just want to quickly dive a little deeper into that alternate pathway that people are for going college and going the pro route, just for those who might not be as familiar with how soccer works professionally. Unlike the NFL, where you need to be in college for 3 years, the NBA, where you have to be a year removed from high school, doesn't work that way in soccer. The MLS does have a super draft, but they could also sign guys out of their academies, as you said. European clubs from overseas, college soccer is not a thing like it is here overseas. So as you said, Sal, people can become pros after going through academies and so on and so forth. And that's taken away a lot of these top players. One interesting thing on the women's side, I did check, and those numbers are different. So 20 out of the 23 players from the 2023 U.S. women's national team roster played collegiately. To me, I mean, the U.S. women's national team has been so amazing for all these years. The college system was one of the reasons why they had been so dominant. Title IX really changing things, opening up opportunities for women. Now we're seeing other countries create the infrastructure to have pro teams with academies on the women's side. Do you fear that a similar trajectory might occur on the women's side of things as pro teams overseas develop more academies? And even in NWSL, there's been talk domestically about creating academies for young players in the U.S.
Yeah, and there's a brand new women's league in this country that
Yeah.
began last summer. So, yeah, the more and more opportunities there are for women to become professional, the less and less women are going to go that college pathway, right? It's not going to. It's just a little bit behind right now where the men's game is, but I can certainly see it on heading in that direction. And I think, in the grand scheme of things, I don't want it to be that way, right? I don't know that it's the best thing for the development of sports and keeping enough people playing what they've played their whole life, right? If the college game goes away, a lot of people are going to, most people don't become professional, right? And aren't good
Right.
enough to become professionals. So you'd love to have that outlet to continue your education, to continue playing. But eventually, the schools, the universities are not going to be able to continue to go on if there's not enough competition, if there's not enough people to play. So, to answer your question, yeah, I think the women's game is headed that way. I think the college system on the women's side was a huge value and difference maker for our program in years gone by, because we had what other countries didn't have, and that was the ability to develop players at a very high level in the college game for those number of years before we didn't really, at times we didn't have professional leagues here,
Mhm.
but our national team is the greatest in the world on the women's side, because we had that college outlet for them to develop for those 4 years and to continue to play, and we were the best in the world, and I still think we have that ability to be. Um, on the men's side, it's completely different. But yeah, the fear is and I'm seeing it now. Like, we're behind the high school timeline, but high school soccer is, for all intents and purposes, the absolute best players in every high school are no longer playing high school soccer. 10 years ago, it was one or two guys in the state that were good enough to go play at Red Bull or good enough to play at NYC or around the country, whatever their major league soccer program was. You were losing one or two kids, three kids in a state. Now, every high school is without their top 3 to 5 players because of where youth soccer is. And eventually that's going to trickle up to the college game.
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm one of the PAC-Hub's AI specialists. Today, I want to show you why PAC-Hub is the ultimate platform for college baseball players looking to transfer to a new college program. First, let's take a look at our extensive network of coaches. With over 150 coaches actively using our system, you have a huge pool of experts to connect with. Imagine having access to all these experienced coaches searching for talent like yours. You even have the ability to connect with any of these coaches via our internal messaging system. This means more opportunities to showcase your skills and find the perfect new team. Now let's switch gears and see things from a coach's perspective. Coaches can easily search for athletes by position or stat. Let's say I'm looking for a left-handed pitcher with good pitching stats. With just a few clicks, I can find top-performing pitchers who meet my criteria. This efficient search functionality ensures that coaches find the perfect fit for their teams and athletes get matched with opportunities that suit their strengths. PAC-Hub is all about connecting talent with opportunity. Whether you're an athlete looking to transfer to a new college team or a coach searching for the next star player, PAC-Hub has the tools you need to succeed. Don't miss out on the chance to be part of this amazing community. Join PAC-Hub today and take the next step in your baseball journey. Visit www.pac-hub.com to sign up now.
Sending players or having the best players play in academies in Europe or in MLS is ideally, you would think, the best way for them to improve as soccer players, to become the best players in the world. But by doing so, that's also negating the high school ranks and the college ranks, right? So how do you just kind of balance the fact that, yes, maybe the best players going overseas to play in academies or sign pro contracts at a young age might be best for their development, but also it's still having a negative impact on the college system and the high school system? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think what we have to do is convince families. Right now, families at a young age are being told, here's your best pathway. And not enough people recognize there are other ways to get, if becoming a professional is your ultimate goal, there's not just a single pathway. We can point to what we think is the best way to go, but there's not just one simple way. But unfortunately, at a very young age, and you see this with kids leaving their town program at 8 years old because they're being told that this other academy program is a better situation for them. So what we have to do to try to keep the college game strong is make families and players realize or recognize and believe that you can continue to develop here. And the way it is now, it's kind of tough because if you're in an MLS academy or even if you're just playing travel soccer at a youth level, it's nearly a 12-month a year cycle, right? There's very little downtime. You're even playing through the winter now. Even if you're in the Northeast, you're finding ways in bubbles or indoor tournaments or traveling, or they've got a 30-degree rule where if it's at least 30 degrees, I think that was the deal at Red Bull when my son was there for 4 years. If it was 30 degrees, we're training outside. So and at the college level, maybe you come in August, your season's over in November, so you've got 3-4 months where you're really in season. And then there's a bit of a spring program now, that maybe you come in March and you have limited number of practice sessions and matches that you can play in the spring and things that you can do. And then when you add it all up, maybe for those 4 years that you're away at school, unless you're supplementing your own stuff in the winter, and then you're finding summer programs, USL2 teams to play, maybe you're playing 7 months a year in prime developing years, 17 to 21, 18 to 22. How can you continue to become as good as you can be if within the structure of team, you're together 7 or 8 years? Whereas if you sign with a pro club, maybe you get 2 months off if you're lucky. So 7 months or 10 months. How do you tell a kid whose eventual goal is to become a professional that only playing at the highest level that you can 7 months a year is better than doing that 10 months a year? It's a hard thing to sell.
Absolutely. And that leads us to a potential solution to this, the 21st century model. I want to dive into this. It was proposed in 2000. It really did not pick up a ton of traction until recent years, like 2022 and beyond is when it started to go beyond just coaches. And now a ton of people are talking about it. I was reading a quote from an ESPN article. JT Batson, the CEO of US Soccer, said that this could make college soccer the premier U23 league in the world. And at its core, the proposal would extend the college soccer season from just the fall semester, which is what it is now, to the fall and the spring semester. So, Sal, would love to get your thoughts on this idea to expand the college season to both semesters and kind of, as you just said, extend the amount of months per year that these players are playing.
I think it has to go in that direction, but I think there's challenges from university to university because a lot of schools rather, are using their soccer, the fields that they use for soccer in the fall are being used maybe for baseball in the spring, right? So I think you're going to run into some schools at various conferences that have issues with facilities. But once you can manage that and sort that out, I think you're now providing some of the pushback as to why the top level players are choosing not to go to college. You're solving some of those problems. But within each individual university, you're now creating some new ones with field space, with practice time, with a lot of those logistics that, look, the bigger schools with a ton of money, the Power Four conferences now, and even some maybe outside of those, have enough facilities, have enough money to do this. You're gonna have to pay coaches more, right? What does that look like for budgets? It's not just as simple as, hey, let's play more soccer, let's put more time. And the coaches on the men and women's side, I think, that have been pushing for this, they saw it coming, right? Before a lot of us did. We're seeing people react now because the game is not what it used to be. The numbers are not the quality is not what it used to be, right? Coaches who've been doing this for a long time are the ones that are pushing for it because they've seen, hey, we're never getting the best players, 17-year-olds, right? Because they're going professional. So they've seen it for a while. And I don't know if you have the list of college coaches that are really proponents for this system. But if you rattle off those names, they're legendary in the game, and they know that this is what's necessary to try to keep pushing college soccer forward and at a high level. But there's challenges, and I think what's also going to happen eventually, this is going to happen to some degree. And this is going to happen at some places. And what you may have eventually is just a super conference of 30 programs who are able to do this. They have the money, they have the resources, they have the field space, they have all of that, they have the interest, they have the support. But now, what does that do to all of the conferences that can't afford to do this? All of the conferences that don't have the facilities? What happens to those programs? We have to worry about that as well. It can't just be, how do we protect and develop just the best of the best? Because college sports and youth sports is never about that. It's an amateur program, right? We have to worry about what's also the best for the majority of the kids, and the majority of the kids are not going to become professional.
Right. No, I think that's very well said. What I was reading suggested that the ACC and the Big Ten, maybe not unanimously with every single institution, but it seems to be schools from those two conferences are the ones who are really pushing strongly for this. But as you mentioned, that's going to leave behind a large swath of the college soccer landscape that will just be completely abandoned. And I feel like that's a big recruiting disadvantage as well, right? If you have a team that's playing year round versus just in the fall, I think that's a pretty big pitch for an 18-year-old, right?
Yeah, so it's going to become a super league. And in some ways, I think we're seeing that in college football. Maybe I'm reaching an area that I know nothing about, but you're seeing, they've expanded the playoffs. They've gotten the bowl games is not that big a deal. They've expanded the number of teams in the playoffs, but it's still all coming mostly from the same 2 or 3 conferences. And that's what's probably going to eventually happen with college soccer, is the conferences and the clubs and the universities that are able to do this and see the value in it. It's just going to make them that much stronger. And I do, what happens to all of those other universities right now? There's probably Division I, 210 men's soccer teams. I want to say, when you look at the RPI, I think there's somewhere around 200 Division I men's soccer programs currently. I don't know that that's going to be the case down the road.
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm one of the PAC-Hub's AI specialists. Today, I want to show you why PAC-Hub is the ultimate platform for college baseball players looking to transfer to a new college program. First, let's take a look at our extensive network of coaches. With over 150 coaches actively using our system, you have a huge pool of experts to connect with. Imagine having access to all these experienced coaches searching for talent like yours. You even have the ability to connect with any of these coaches via our internal messaging system. This means more opportunities to showcase your skills and find the perfect new team. Now let's switch gears and see things from a coach's perspective. Coaches can easily search for athletes by position or stat. Let's say I'm looking for a left-handed pitcher with good pitching stats. With just a few clicks, I can find top-performing pitchers who meet my criteria. This efficient search functionality ensures that coaches find the perfect fit for their teams and athletes get matched with opportunities that suit their strengths. PAC-Hub is all about connecting talent with opportunity. Whether you're an athlete looking to transfer to a new college team or a coach searching for the next star player, PAC-Hub has the tools you need to succeed. Don't miss out on the chance to be part of this amazing community. Join PAC-Hub today and take the next step in your baseball journey. Visit www.pac-hub.com to sign up now.
I think your college football comparison, by the way, spot on. You could even go further with that, in that at the D1 level, you have FBS and you have FCS. So I'm almost thinking you make this Super League, ACC, Big Ten, whoever else wants to join, whatever, but they're playing year round.
Big East has a ton of programs that are known since my day. Just unbelievable. St. John's, like Akron's now in the Big East. I could just rattle like almost every single one. How isn't St. John's men's soccer with Dr. David Mazur as leading that forever and doing a fantastic job? How isn't he going to be a part of that next level program?
Right.
And so many of them. And that's the fear, is like, okay, well, what happens to the other 180 universities that have funded in college soccer and given kids an opportunity to get an education and continue to play a sport that they love?
Yeah, definitely some drawbacks to it, but certainly some benefits to this model as well, in terms of prolonging the benefit of college soccer and what it provides to some of the top players in this country. I want to end with on a positive note here. You and I both work college soccer games frequently. I love college soccer, just the passion, the energy, the excitement of it. It's so fun to watch. So let's leave our viewers with this. Why should people who maybe aren't the biggest soccer fans, why should they tune into college soccer? Why should they go to their local school and go watch a match?
Because there's still, I don't know if innocence is the right word. There's a camaraderie that, like, some of my best relationships and best friends in my life, I'm out of school 30 plus years, are teammates that I had in college, right? Soccer and baseball are some of the best friends I had, the best times. And I think supporting that and seeing how much it means to play for your school, how much it means to play for your friends. It's a different mindset and it's a different feeling than you get at the professional level, right? At the professional level, look, we all know why we're here. We're getting paid to be here and we're getting paid to compete. And you have fans that appreciate that side of it. The innocence and the friendships and the camaraderie and the spirit, right? There's a spirit to college athletics. I don't care what sport it is something that if you commit a little time to and you watch it and you see how much it means to the students and you see how much it means to the athletes, it's hard not to feel a little bit of a connection to that, in my opinion. Because look, I love soccer, I like baseball, I like a lot of sports, but I can go watch, a spirited college rivalry in any event because it makes you feel a certain way, right? It just there's something about it that is not a professional feeling, right? It's a different feeling, and that's great. And of course, we all love professional sports, but at the college level, there's just something about, and we're working a game this weekend together that I'm a women's college soccer match in the Ivy League that I'm super excited to go watch and just be a part of it because it means so much. Because 95 to 99% of those kids, those women, those men on the men's side will never play. When their college career is over, will be the last time that they lace up the boots. And knowing that, it means so much more to them. Whereas at the professional level, there's another game, there's another season. And when your career comes to an end there, man, you had a lot longer trek than anybody else could ever have dreamed of. At the college level, there's a finite moment where that's all going to come to an end. And when you commit everything while also being a student to it and do it with a passion and a spirit, it's just a different deal. And there's an appreciation there that I think everybody who's gone to college, who's tried to play sports, understands how difficult that is and how meaningful it is.
Very well said, Sal. I have to say, if college soccer does break off and form some sort of super league, you have my vote for commissioner. If that's something you'd want to do.
Listen, I love the sport. I love college athletics. I love what it's done for me. I'm very appreciative of what it's done for my children. And if there's anything that I could ever do to try to help somebody else, it's what people have done for me. So. You might be the only person that wants me at that table. But.
well, look, you'd have at least one vote. So, but Sal,
my mom too. So I've got two.
And there we go.
I want to thank my mom for putting together that intro that you did too. So I think she did a nice job in the beginning there, telling you all about me.
Oh, big shout out. That's amazing. Well, Sal, this was fantastic. So great speaking with you. As Sal mentioned, we will be on the call for Sunday's match, Columbia versus Penn on ESPN Plus Women's Soccer. So tune in for that one. Looking forward to it. Sal, always a pleasure speaking with you. Thanks for the time today.
Thanks, John. My pleasure.
All right, there you have it. Sal Rosamilia, big thanks to him for joining us. So much great insight from his variety of experiences across college soccer and soccer in the U.S. in general. One final reminder that we are powered by our good friends at PAC-Hub. Take a look at the bottom of your screen. PAC-Hub, connecting athletes with opportunities. Visit pac-hub.com for more. Once again, pac-hub.com for more. And like, comment, subscribe. If you subscribe to our page, you will get notified every time that we post a new video. Makes it easier for you rather than having to search for our page and find us, this and that. No, just straight to your phone. We post an episode, boom, you click, you watch. So makes it very simple for you. Again, a big thanks to all of you for joining us today. We will be back soon with the new episode. This has been the Around the Huddle podcast, powered by PAC-Hub.